Joining me in studio, Tompkins County legislator and candidate for New York State Senator, Mike Sigler. Sigler. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Avery. How are you doing?
Good, good. So tell me a little bit about the Watchfire event and, the significance of holding this.
Right. It's really one of the nicest events we have in Lansing, New York, and frankly for the whole region. We bring in people from all over because, the Watchfire was set up. They've set up Watchfires ever since really the Crusades. I mean, and then during the Revolutionary War, battlefields used to be very large. Soldiers would get lost, and you would set a Watchfire so that you could track them back home. And that's what we're symbolically trying to do here. I mean, when you have the POW MIA Remembrance Day, it's a national day that was set up in 1990. And after that, they set up the Watchfire in Lansing. So this is the 33rd year. And what we do is we go around to local places like Baker Miller Lumber and Lowe's, and they give us large pallets. Those are all loaded onto this point in Lansing, Myers Park. And then they light this on fire. And if you have a flag, for example, that is showing the worse for wear, this is a good way to dispose of that. Bring it over and they'll put it onto the Watchfire.
Okay.
And you can see this. I mean, Cayuga Lake is about 42 miles long. Granted, there's a bend in it, but you can see this for miles. I mean, it is certainly, it's an impressive sight, and we just bring so many people together.
Yeah, I saw the video and the photos you sent me, it's a huge thing, a huge fire. I wouldn't doubt that you could see it for miles away. And, so can you tell me a little bit about what time it starts and when people could get there?
Sure. I mean, it starts at 7. That's when they actually light the fire. So certainly get there early because, I mean, earlier you can meet some of the veterans. This is hosted by the Vietnam Veterans Chapter 377 and also the Cornell ROTC, the Tri-Service Brigade will be there. Team RW Red, White, and Blue will be there. And you can come down and you can meet everybody, and it's just a nice event because you're going to meet other veterans, you're going to meet other families of veterans, and it's an event that really does pull a lot of people together.
And I wanted to ask too, how did your organization come to be involved with the National POW MIA Recognition Day, getting more into that a little bit?
It's usually one person or a group of people. They started this obviously 33 years ago, so the history is long when it comes to the Vietnam veterans in our area. And I think they looked at it in 1990. That's when the POW MIA flag was adopted nationally. And after that, they wanted to do something special, I think, to kind of memorialize that as well. And that's what really that's when the Watchfire was born.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this event, or is this your first year?
No, gosh, I've been going to this event I've been a county legislator for 14 years, but that was on and off for about 20 years. I mean, I've lived in Lansing over 25 years. I've tried to make it, maybe not since the beginning, but we try to go every year because it really is. It's something that we do special, and I have never seen it before. I hadn't seen it anyplace else. I know they do have them in other places, but this is
I've never heard of it either, and especially when you related it back to history, I thought that was really neat how the soldiers come home, or light the fires to bring them home. So I wanted to ask, what's your favorite part of being able to attend this and help putting this on too?
Right. I think it really does remind people that there are a lot of people that are still missing. There is over 1,500 service people who are still missing. And granted, we have already said we're not going to find a little bit over 400 of those, but that still is over 1,000 people who are just missing, and we're still actively searching. I mean, for those people. And it's so special when you can even find someone's remains for the family. We had a soldier who was lost in Korea and hadn't been found. And finally they did find them. And they brought him home, and he was interred right there in Lansing. And it was so special for the family that they had showed up, and the military did a wonderful job of bringing them back and interring them in their hometown. And it's interesting, I was told, over in Hawaii, there's something called the Punch Bowl, and it's a cemetery, and there's missing in action walls there, and you can go in and per service, and if you look there, you can see that person's name, and there's a little cluster, and that cluster is now, it's not gone. They mark it as the person is found. So the military does still keep looking for people, even though they are missing in action.
No, that's awesome, and to give that to the family too, and just let them know that they cannot stop worrying or stop wondering if they're coming home, or like that. So I wanted to ask too, can people, bring food to this event and kind of make it a whole day
Sure.
thing?
Oh, yeah, that would be terrific. I mean, come. It's a beautiful park, Myers Park. It's right on Cuga Lake. The
Yeah, I've
water's
never
still
been there.
relatively warm. Come on by. I mean, you can even, put your feet in the lake. But I mean, it is. It's a community event, and it brings a lot of people together. And we would love to see people from other counties come on in. And frankly, the veterans, if you talk to the Vietnam veterans, they're all getting a little older. And it's hard to kind of keep these things going, and I think it's important to. So the more people we can get to something like this, and then they get them involved, and they start maybe doing some of the organizing, and they start collecting some of the wood. I mean, on Friday, there'll be people there in the morning as the pallets roll in, building this structure. The structure's tall.
Yeah.
It can get up to like 20 feet tall.
I
mean,
saw it, yeah.
The video is pretty impressive. So.
Where can people find more information on this event, or, anything with this in general?
Right, I would send people to the Facebook page for the Vietnam Veterans Chapter 377. There's a nice, it's an ad right there on the page, and you can look up there. I'll be posting it to my page too, so Sigler for Senate, 52nd District, you can look it up there. And yeah, please join us. We would love to have you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck, and I hope it's the biggest fire that you've had so far.
I know, right? Thank you so much.
Yes,
Avery.
thank you so much. For those of you who might have missed those details, there will be the Watchfire event Friday, September 20th. This will take place at Myers Park in Lansing at 7 p.m. This event corresponds with National POW MIA Recognition Day. The Watchfire is based on an ancient military tradition where fires were lit after battles to help the missing and wounded find their way home. For more information, please visit LansingStar.com or its Facebook page. We're now sending it over